And because of that, when researching, you must be clever, because there are also questions an agent legally cannot answer for you. The information hole that law creates is exactly where a buyer's safety diligence lives, and the public record fills it if you know how to ask. That is key. For my paid subscribers, I'll be sharing a sample of one of these deep dive reports and the method behind it, because this is the skill of the era, not waiting for the tools, using them operationally to your advantage. The mountains taught me the rest of the doctrine, and they used a storm to do it. I nearly bought mountain property before September 2024. I held off. The location cannot be rushed but studied and stress-checked, and the same month, Hurricane Helene took homes, roads, and whole communities across western North Carolina. In Chimney Rock, a main street that sat outside the drawn floodplain went under nearly 8 feet of water because the river carved itself a new course overnight. The state has mapped more than 2,800 landslides from that one storm, and 23 of the 106 people North Carolina lost died not to rising water, but to slopes coming down from above. So my purchase doctrine is written in that storm's handwriting. Buy above the flow, buy outside the runout of anything man-made or mountain-made, and check the slope above you against the state's landslide maps. The same maps, I'll note, whose funding was once pulled, because hazard maps are bad for sales. Patience is a risk instrument. I'm shopping in hurricane season on purpose, carrying the lessons the last one wrote. And that brings me to spruce pine. 2 years ago, in the raw days after Hurricane Helene, I raised what that little town actually is on a Survivor's channel, and the room got quiet, a loaded word. Here is the verified record today in the open. 2 mines in a Blue Ridge town of about 2,000 people supply more than 80% of the world's high-purity quartz, the mineral refined into the crucibles that melt silicon for essentially every chip on Earth. Both mines shut down on September 26, 2024, ahead of the storm, and for roughly 2 weeks, a $600 billion industry held its breath over a mountain hollow. It had happened before. A single plant fire there in 2008 all but shut off the world's supply. I flagged the choke point when it was taboo. It's mainstream now. That is the same law I run on the Strait of Hormuz, where people are still litigating open versus closed by counting ships on whichever day suits their side of the fence. 54 ships today, 12 yesterday, open, closed, right, wrong. If you have not figured it out by now, please be mindful of fear channels appealing to emotion when true signal is low. I anchor to the durable structural state, and that is why, when the strait runs hot, this station's readership surges. The record was already built during the quiet. The choke point matters before the world admits it does. It's one connected map. And speaking of connected maps, the initiative I've tracked since its launch, Pax Silica, while much of the discourse is only now being discovered by the name, just announced was its newest node in the Philippines. A 4,000-acre AI hub pitched in a presidential address with its data rulebook still unwritten. The oldest and least discussed node of that same silicon stack is a quartz hollow in my own Blue Ridge. The global supply chain everyone argues about in the abstract has an American bedrock, and I can drive to it, which is exactly what I'm about to do. The ground I'm heading into is the oldest on the continent, the worn-down root of a range that stood before the Atlantic Ocean existed. The same ancient collision that raised those mountains cooked that quartz to its impossible purity. In those hollers, a dam built in wartime secrecy powered the enrichment that armed the bomb that ended a world war, and whole drowned towns still sit beneath its lake. Tulip poplars, 400 years old, stand in a forest that was never logged in a county almost nobody films. I've even stood on the Tennessee side where the hot water breathes sulfur straight out of that ancient rock, and believe me, you don't forget the smell of deep thyme. This is the area I will be taking you through, with real footage, my own boots, and the dogs riding along. The batteries are charged.